I kind of went on my most expensive vacation, which was to the hospital to have my firstborn child, and that hospital bill is a lot, but thank goodness for insurance. But I had to leave my fish tank here for a solid week. I didn't fully trust anybody to really watch and take care of my tank without really messing it up, so I allowed my skills and experience to kind of prep my tank to be ready for this week-long journey. Before we dive into what I did to prepare my tank, do expect a lot of changes to your tank in over a week, because you haven't seen your tank and a lot can change. So when I first got back, there was tons of algae on this front glass, and as you can see through that black back glass, there is tons of brown algae, and that's mostly due to overfeeding, as I like to overfeed these guys, and it's more of my show tank, so I like to show off and feed them and have my guests watch them. But not only that, but you can see tons of algae grown on leaves all around, even on the driftwood and all these different plants and rocks. Comparative to my other tanks, which all did a varying degrees of success, this one did fairly well. There was no deaths in any of my tanks, and all of them were very, very healthy, as there was no sunken stomachs, they weren't gasping, they weren't anything. They were very, very active, and once I did come home, they shot up to the surface, and I did feed them a very, very much needed dinner. So what I did to prep my tank was a lot of things. First was I made sure there was tons of these water column feeding plants. So this is my pothos plant. I ended up trimming it a little bit, but I have two of them in the tank, and these are going to be pulling a lot of nutrients out of the water, a lot of the nasties, the ammonia, the nitrate. I also have these Java fern, so these aren't going to be pulling as much nutrient and nasties out of the water like the pothos, but they do play a very big part in maintaining the water quality of the tank. Another thing that I did was to make sure there was tons of surface area for bacteria to grow to break down the nasties in the water. In my opinion, all bacteria grows on anything that's in the tank. So all these grains of sand has hundreds or millions of bacteria growing. Same with these rocks, these plants, the driftwood. Everything in the tank has some bacteria growing on it, which is playing a part in maintaining the healthy level of the tank. One reason why I felt confident that the fish had plenty of food was that there was tons of algae starting to grow already before I left, and this wall has become such a big part of the ecosystem of the tank, as it houses tons of microorganisms, not necessarily bacteria microorganisms, but things that the fish can snack on. Oh my goodness, tongue twister. Throughout the day, the fish would be snacking on anything that moves, on the leaves, on the tank, on the driftwood, and those provide tiny meals for the fish so they can survive until you get back. In my opinion, I don't have enough plants to support the I don't have enough plants to support all the waste that has been given off from the fish, but the bacteria from the sponge filter, and I have this one that was already culturing in another tank to help, has helped the ecosystem maintain it long enough for me to come back. The very last thing that I did before leaving was add this air stone. So I didn't always have to add this, but if it was more of a peace of mind decision, as this is going to provide tons of surface agitation, so the fish are not going to be gasping, and there's going to be tons of exchange at the surface. Some honorable mentions are going to be towards the cory cats, as these guys sift through the sand, and no algae has grown on the sand as they move it around. They're always looking for food, and it doesn't allow the algae to grow on it. If I had a bristlenose pleco in this tank, which I am planning on getting, it would be eating all of this biofilm all on this driftwood, and that would be feeding the pleco. And honestly, it would remove a lot of the film. It's not recommended to stress test your tank, but in times where you need to, it is nice to have a peace of mind that your tank will stand for at least a week. If you have any advice for myself or other aquarists, please feel free to put it down in the comments down below. But other than that, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.